Tippero's community had lived at the base of the Holy Mountain for as long as anyone could remember. Despite all the worship, and despite all the reverence the old folks held for the Holy Mountain, Tippero had always thought it was a rather ugly place. Everything else he had ever known had a certain soft warmth to it, like cozying against a lover during a cold night, or stroking a little puffball plant. By contrast, all Tippero felt was a chill when he gazed at the mountain. The light that reflected off of it was always harsh and blinding. Its hard stone was forever slick and sharp. Its shape was forever static and unmoving. Worst of all, Tippero could never shake the feeling that the Holy Mountain had a history, one of rage and violence. The ancient songs sung by the elders told stories of the gentle care of the mountain and of the miracles performed by its strange champion. They told of a night when the stars flew like arrows and the sky roared louder than any waterfall. They sang of the mountain's fall from heaven and how it shifted and moved for many a year before settling where it lay now. They sang of their elders' journey following the Holy Mountain in hopes of becoming worthy of its protection. Tippero was tired of hearing it. He had grown tired of the pomp, the ritual, and the reverence. He had grown tired of the old folks wasting his waking hours with their legends and traditions. He just wanted to work the fields. Most people called him strange. The elderly wondered why he had such a disdain for tradition. The young wondered why he had such a hard-on for hard labour. Tippero didn't care. He just liked the work. Simple, monotonous work, where he didn't have to think and he didn't have to look at the mountain. 4 rituals a day. 1 in the morning, 1 around midday, 2 as the sun set. And Tippero was always stuck doing the 4th. It was his own fault. He knew that the rule was that the 4th was always to be taken up by the most able-bodied boy of the village, but he just loved the fields too much. The other 3 trials were much simpler. One person would deposit a meal at the base of the mountain. Legend said that the Holy Mountain's champion used to collect the meals and fly up to the top of the mountain on stone ropes. The others said that the champion never came down anymore, and that the meals just sat there until the next person came to collect the dishes. Not that Tippero ever asked. Still, Tippero wished he had the champion's magic ropes to make his trial easier. Allegedly, the 4th trial was introduced shortly before the champion stopped collecting his meals. It was similarly simple. In explanation, at least, if not in application. Tippero just had to scale the mountain up to where the shining rock turned black, and clear it off. A simple task, if you ignored the fact that the mountain had a severe lack of proper handholds, spots to rest, and that looking at most of its surfaces in the evening sun was nearly impossible without burning your eyes. Tippero hated it, not for how strenuous it was, nor for how the mountain made him feel. He hated it because it was pointless. Clearing dirt, bird crap, and errant tree branches from a spot of bare rock served no one and wasted 3 hours of his time. To top it all off, everyone was always so captivated with the mountain that they'd almost forgotten others existed outside of the village. Tippero had been paying attention, though. He knew the rumours. Whispers of growing wars, raging battlefields, and roving gangs of bandits taking advantage of the lands devoid of their warriors. Tippero tried to bring it up from time to time, but the elders just told him to put his trust in the Holy Mountain. But he couldn't. So Tippero began his own ritual. At the end of every day, instead of wasting his time cleaning the black rock, Tippero would stand watch. His eyes would scan the horizon for anything out of the ordinary. By his reckoning, there were no towns or villages anywhere nearby. The trees about the village were sparse and clumped together in small groups. No large groups of people could easily sneak up on the village from his vantage point. He continued this ritual for 3 nights, before something changed. It began with an unearthly sound, the likes of which Tippero had never heard before. It was like a very low, slow bleat of a goat, or the repeated braying of an injured horse. Whatever the sound was, it was muted and echoing from within the stone of the mountain itself. This wailing almost distracted Tippero enough to not notice the lights cresting a hill where the sun had fallen. Almost. Tippero watched in stunned silence as a handful of lights grew to a small number, then to a good-sized group. More and more lights winked into existence as their bearers began cresting the hill, until a city's worth of lights began filtering into the valley. With the lights came voices, loud, rowdy voices that carried harsh tones and unintelligible words. The mountain's wails grew louder to match, and a strange muffled voice joined them. Recharging capabilities have been severely diminished. Battery reserves at 10%. Auxiliary power requires activation to counter hostile contact 114. Tippero didn't recognize some of the words. In fact, the only one he really processed was hostile. But that was enough. He started clambering down immediately. The mountain had spoken. It had spoken to him. There were hostile people approaching the village. He had to warn them. As he scrambled down, the mountain began to crack with a hiss. A long, straight seam opened ahead of him, and from it poured a cold, almost frigid light. The light flashed in slow, regular intervals, matching the wells that now emanated from the same crack. "You wish me to enter?" Tippero asked the mountain, and the voice within replied, "Auxiliary power requires manual activation. Please follow the green arrows." In response, green arrow-like shapes began to shine on the floor of the cave, revealed by the crack. "But I need to warn the village, Holy Mountain." Local asset designation Little Buddies has been appraised of the situation via short-com tablet as of 1937 local time. Please proceed to the route. "I know not what you say, Holy Mountain, but into your stones I commit my spirit." And so, Tippero followed the mountain's green arrows. He walked for what felt like an age in the labyrinthine expanse of the cave, guided by the enigmatic mountain's shining path. Until finally, he entered the massive expanse of a chamber with a wide stalagmite dominating its center. The Elder's life sigil began to shine on one of the walls of the chamber. Thoughtlessly, Tippero traced the arc and then the line with his finger. The mountain roared, then it began to scream. The stalagmite launched itself into the ceiling and began a slow rotation. It picked up speed, faster, and faster it spun until its individual features blended together. "Auxiliary power established," the mountain called. "Targeting solution acquired. Checking weapon reserves." "Weapon reserves?" "Warning. Remaining ordnance is limited to 4 Hellfire missiles and 37 electromag rounds. Determination. Show of force is necessary to minimize ordnance expenditure." What? Operator. Requesting permission to launch 1 instance of armament designation Hellfire missile. What? Please reply either negative or affirmative. Affirmative? Confirmation received. Firing. "Where are the villagers, Holy Mountain? Are they safe?" "Local asset designation Little Buddies has been temporarily relocated to Calf Bay 1. Can you take me to them?" Highlighting route. Follow the yellow arrows. It was a warm light this time. Tippero followed the path readily and found the others quickly. Everyone was huddled together closely. Everyone other than the Elder, everyone called Old Man Lockley. In his hands, Lockley clutched a strange, glowing slab not too dissimilar to the mountain. His eyes were glued to it, and as Tippero approached, he saw what the glow was. A strange grid with numbers along the lines, and 3 triangles, one red moving slowly, one green, stationary, in the middle of the screen, one yellow, fast approaching the red triangle. Suddenly, Tippero and Lockley watched as the arrows collided and the yellow one disappeared. "Impact," the mountain called out. The red arrow quickly spun around and began moving away. "Hostile contact 114 is routing." Another crack began opening nearby into the open world. And in the distance, Tippero saw the hill he had seen the lights descending from earlier. It was like a second sunset. Tomorrow, Tippero would be sure to do his ritual properly.